Good morning, everyone. Hope all are keeping safe and healthy. I'm Shachi Ghildyal, an IPS officer currently serving in the Embassy of India in Washington, D.C. I'm here to welcome you and introduce fellow IPS officer, an all-weather friend, and more than a friend, she's a sister to me, Aparna Kumar, for India Student Hub Rumination series. During the COVID-19 pandemic, India Student Hub launched the Rumination series with none other than the NASA astronaut Sunita Williams to provide out of this world perspectives on dealing with isolation and uncertainty. Today, we will hear from yet another extraordinary woman who has achieved great heights of her own. In a short span of 5 years, Aparna has become the first All India Service Officer to climb the 7 summits, which includes, besides the Mount Everest, the highest peaks of the 7 continents. Last year, the President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, facilitated her with the Tenzing Norgay National Award. For those who do not know about it, it is equivalent to the Khel Ratna for adventure sports. For me, Aparna is an excellent IPS officer, a committed daughter, sister, mother of 2, and a close friend. You just saw a short highlight reel of some of her achievements. I must have seen this video 100 times, and every time I see it, it gives me the goosebumps, and I'm so proud of you, Aparna. In this pandemic, we take you behind the scenes to learn more about what it takes to achieve great heights in whatever circumstances you find yourself. Aparna's story is one of determination, discipline, and focus on greater responsibilities. She will share some of her journey and then follow a question-answer format. We limited the Zoom class to a classroom size of 30 participants to create a more intimate setting. However, we will record today's interaction and share via Google social media. 2 India Student Hub volunteers, Mansi Bhosle and Gurmandeep Kaur, will facilitate the conversation and take questions from other participants. Mansi, thank you. Mandeep, also thank you for your work in preparing for this interaction. I will now ask Aparna to start with where she is now, about the cancelled expedition in 2020, and what life has been like in this pandemic.
Thank you very much, dear Shachi, and a lot of appreciation and encouragement from you. I always, it's all the words and affection and love that you always shower on me is what pushes me. People ask me, what is your motivation? What are your motivators? So sisters and best friends like you are the best motivators. So talking about isolation and my life right now, first of all, let me greet everyone. Very good morning, and it's a great pleasure and honor to interact with such brilliant and young minds. And I thank Shachi, Rupal, and the Embassy of India Student Hub for inviting me to interact with these brilliant people. Presently, I'm posted as DIG, Sector Headquarter, Dehradun, in the Indo-Tibetan Border Police. And the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, has been a big shock. And gradually, I have realized that the seriousnosness and the efforts and measures that you need to get over to be safe and to be healthy. I take care of the Garhwal region of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, which extends to a border of around 216 kilometers of Indo-China border, that is Indo-Tibetan, Tibet-occupied China. And we have around 14 international passes and 26 border outposts at altitudes ranging from 10,000 feet to 17,500. So the pandemic has been a big shock for all of us, and gradually I got into the realization that now need step-by-step measures and efforts to take care of myself, my health, my families, and at workplace. I right now live in Dehradun in a closed campus of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police. We have around 2,000 to 2,500 personnel living within the campus. So there are, barracks where there is shared accommodation. There are messes where there is communal, food that is served. They have to eat in a mess, and we have family accommodation where the families of some of the personnel. So around more than 2,500 to 3,000 people at a time live inside the campus. So the pandemic has been a big challenge for us in terms of hygiene, sanitization, and, taking care of the personnel and their families, because ITBP is deployed in Jammu Kashmir, at the Indo-China border in Uttarakhand, in the Naxal area in Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. So there's a lot of deployment. As you people may be aware, there is increased activity at the Indo-China border. And in the midst of, we were just getting prepared for, social distancing, wearing masks and being hygienic, washing hands. But immediately we were told that there has to be a movement of troops to the borders, to the Indo-China border. So, social distancing and getting them all into the vehicles and keeping them safe and, with good food and healthy was a big challenge for us. But as of now, most of my troops have reached the Indo-China border. And now the ongoing movement of troops is towards Jammu Kashmir, where a lot of movement of troops from Dehradun and from all the units in Uttarakhand, they are moving to Jammu Kashmir. So, and some of my personnel, around 10 of them got positive, got infected with coronavirus, who were deployed in Delhi in law and order duties. As of now, I'm very happy to say that only 3 of them are in the hospital and they are in very good condition. Almost all of them are, the rest of them got discharged and they are in good health. So this time, this isolation is not new for a force like Indo-Tibetan Border Police and for someone like me, because most of the personnel stay at an altitude of 10,000 to 17,000 feet, and they are stuck especially in the winters. They are stuck from November to April. So you can imagine this 5 to 6 months of isolation in the snow, in the ice. So it is nothing new for the troops here, but they always had freedom, and always had the choice to move freely. This pandemic has restricted even that. So that has been a bit challenging, and but we are overcoming a lot of difficulties and hurdles on the way, and every day is a new experience. As of my expedition, see, I started off with nothing, from scratch, with no experience or any, I had never done mountaineering or climbing whatsoever. And also, I started mountaineering and climbing very late in my life. I could have failed miserably. But I took the risk and began my journey with one step at a time. And they say in mountaineering that there are 3 basic rules of mountaineering. It's always further than it looks. It always harder than it looks. It's always tougher than it looks, and taller than it looks. So this is life in a nutshell. Life is tough. Life is hard. It's difficult. It's painful, and we are not entitled to anything. And life is like a mountain. You go up, reach the top, come back down, set new goals, and start the climb all over again. So it's always challenging, and uh, you know, uh, new experiences that you come across and meet new people. And mountaineering and climbing has really been a different experience and a different journey for me, because for someone who has never traveled out of India, it has been something really different and really adventurous. And I'd also like to say something about my age also. I started my training very, very late. I was almost around 38 plus, and but I was very focused and I was very motivated and inspired. I worked very hard and I completed my training, and I never had any grand ideas or grand dreams of achieving the 7 summits or going to the South Pole or even dreaming of North Pole. It was a very natural progression to the next step. I always say small changes and small steps led me to what I am. And also, especially for women, there are a lot of stereotypes and a lot of limits that have been put on us, and pigeonholed into, into certain roles, certain specific roles. That okay, they may not be able to do this, they may not be able to do that. So I'm a prime example of, you need to explore, open your mind, and the world is your oyster.
Very well said, Aparna ji. Thank you so much. My name is Mansi, and I'm also a student at Northeastern University studying biomedical engineering. So, as you said, it was something very new for you, and you did not plan to go ahead with. And it was your first time going out of India. How was your experience for the first time out of India and in the company of people whom you don't know and who are from various parts of the world in this mountaineering?
So Mansi, it was really tough for me then. I had never traveled outside of India, and I had to travel to Tanzania, to a place called Arusha. And I had these huge duffel bags with me. I did, it was the first expedition I was doing outside. Inside India, I had climbed 2 or 3 peaks. But, you're very comfortable with your own people, uh, and you don't know about climbing, how professionals do it. So when I was traveling, I put in everything. I had too much of luggage with me, and I had two huge duffel bags and 2 suitcases and a backpack and a purse. And I think if I see those photos, I really feel very embarrassed now, that how could I be so stupid and dumb? But you learn. And I traveled all alone. I was very, very, I had never gone through the customs, and everything was a new experience. And reaching in Arusha, there was I was told that the company through which I'll be climbing Kilimanjaro, someone will come and pick me up. But at the airport, no one turned up. There was some miscommunication, and thankfully there was some few very good local people who asked me where I wanted to go, and I gave them the address, and I got a taxi and went to the hotel. And from there, my journey started. I met 2 wonderful girls during my trip. They are from Bulgaria, and one works in Zurich, and the other friend of mine, her name is Irena. She works in London. So they became my best friends, and they, uh, made me feel very comfortable. They were very affectionate, and they were the prime reason that I continued climbing. I climbed the next 2 mountains with these 2 wonderful girls, and they're now my best friends, my family, and we keep on climbing together. So the overall experience of climbing my first mountain was incredible, and I summited Kilimanjaro on my birthday. So it was even more, great feeling for me.
Thank you so much, Aparnaji, sharing your experience with us. Your story is truly an inspiration to all of us. But one thing I would like to know more about, like before climbing the highest mountain in the different countries, you need to first climb the mountain of your own self-confidence, which says like no matter what, you can do it. So how did you manage to conquer that battle with yourself?
Okay, there was not one particular movement where I really conquered everything. It's always a trial and error, and with experience, you get a lot of knowledge and wisdom. So when I started, I did not have an inkling of what climbing is, what climbing with the best of climbers from all over the world is. So I learned step by step. I did not know how to pack. I did not know how to take care of myself. Self-care is so important when you go out, when you're traveling outside, when you're going on these big expeditions. Self-care, taking care of oneself is very, very important. See, training, I must have trained physically so much, but I had not trained my mind. I had not trained how to take care of myself, and also interact with people from all around the world was really a trial and error, and I made a lot of mistakes initially, and learned on the job. Like you learn on the during. I learned most of the things during my travels and during my expeditions. And overcoming my fears. See, I had a lot of confidence in my physical ability. Where I lacked was in my mental capacity and mental strength. And these, with teamwork and how you interact with people of different cultures, that was very new to me. And the expeditions over the years have taught me and made me more experienced, and I have more wisdom. But even now I make a lot of mistakes, but I have the humility to accept my mistakes and go on.
Absolutely, Aparnaji. So, as this, as climbing the mountains is not so easy, and how, what role of camaraderie in mountaineering helped you out with? Can you share some stories about that?
Oh, it is very, very important that the team that you climb with is motivated and inspires you and keeps you in a very positive atmosphere, and there is no negativity creeping in. It's very, the camaraderie, like you say, is very, very crucial to the success of any expedition. I have realized, like, there was this expedition in 2016. I went to Antarctica, beautiful place, incredibly wonderful place. I had such a terrible time, because the team, it was like there were more than 10 people from all around the world, and there were a few of them I could just not get along. And they made my life so miserable. It was so unfortunate that I was worrying more about what is wrong with me, where am I wrong, that people are not liking the way, whatever, the way I am portraying. There were a little bit of misunderstanding, and I think that's where I learned to put my foot down and voice my opinions and voice the way I feel. It's very, very important to be honest about the way one feels and the way the interaction is happening. So in this expedition, I had a terrible time, and such a beautiful place, but I had a terrible time. And there was we succeeded in climbing and everything. Some of them gave me a bad time, suffered frost bites and everything. But I did not feel happy that okay, you are suffering, you had frostbite or anything. It's just that I had such a terrible time, and I feel so sad that it's such a beautiful place, and I had to go through this. that was and at the end of the successful summit of the highest peak of Antarctica, that is Mount Vinson. I had a great climb. I had a lot of energy, and I was not at all tired. I was feeling very good. But it's just that there were 2 or 3 people who I really did not like in the team. So that really affected me. Then there was this, after the success party, there was a team dinner and everything, and I was really bugged in the team dinner also. I did not even enjoy the team dinner. So it's so very, very important that you have a good comrade, you voice your opinions honestly, and try to see what is wrong. But and don't let this affect. What I learned in this expedition was not to let the negative things affect me. I need to enjoy. I need to be grateful of the opportunities that I am getting, because there are a lot of people, hundreds, thousands of people who don't even have these opportunities. So now, if I even have some bad experiences, I'm very positive. I keep myself optimistic, and I don't let things affect me badly.
I can like certainly understand like Aparnaji, like these expeditions, like I can't even imagine how difficult it can get. But like you consider like you spend a lot of time training and away from your family during the expeditions. So like do you have any advice for all of us which we can follow during this lockdown and isolation, like when we are like away from our friends and family? How do you like manage with that situation?
Um, it is tough. It is really tough. The isolation, I'm in a way used to the isolation because I've done so many expeditions, and the Indo-Tibetan border police is such that if you're stuck in some border outpost where there is heavy snowing, you're stuck for months there. But no, I've not been stuck like this. But I can understand a lot of people who are in isolation for 5 months, 6 months. And also, yes, let me tell you this experience of mine, which I had on Mount Everest in 2015. I went to climb Mount Everest twice. I went in 2015. I did not go from the Nepal side, that is the south side. I went from the north side, that is the China side, the Indo-China side, Tibetan China side. There on I reached the base camp, and we already had trekked to the advanced base camp, which is at around 21,000 feet. And on 25th of April 2015, there was a massive, that was something. It was a very, very dangerous situation. Rock falls, and it was triggering small avalanches. Though on the north side there was no casualty or any major injuries, we were all aware of the dangerous situation that we were in. We were stuck at the from the base camp, from the advanced camp where I experienced earthquake. We were immediately in the night. We were immediately told to trek down to the base camp. So this was a long trek. We were all very scared with rock falls, and people in the night. Some of them, their torches not working, and people falling and having bruises and everything. So it was quite a commotion out there. But somehow, after a long trek, we reached the base camp by afternoon, and we were stuck at the base camp for more than 18 to 90 days, 19 days. And without knowing, whether the Chinese government is going to allow us to climb again, or, when will they decide and all that. So we're all stuck, not able to communicate with our families. And, I had no communication with my family for more than 16 days. So my mother was immensely pained at the situation and she was shocked at what is happening. My husband also was really did not know what was happening. He was talking to all the embassies in Nepal and everywhere and trying to pull strings of where my wife is. And my children were very, very young, so couldn't understand anything. So this isolation at the base camp on the Everest taught me a great lesson that you need to be very, very patient. See, each and every moment is uncertain. You plan a lot, you train a lot, but you don't know. You can only control the things that you are capable of, and you cannot control the external things, and you need not expect much also. So this very, very uncertain. The Chinese government finally decided that there will be no expeditions, but it will take time for them to evacuate us. From the time that they decided that the expeditions are not going to take place to the time that we were evacuated, it almost took more than 15 days. So we were all disappointed, all our money going down the drain, no expeditions, have to go back home. So this taught me this very important life skill of overcoming adversities, overcoming painful moments, overcoming difficulties, which really builds one's character and resilience. And I somehow feel this is one of the most important life skills that we need to master in our lives.
Thank you, Aparna ji, for sharing your stories. While listening, it was like that I really was thinking I was there at the moment and understanding your situation and knowing how difficult it could be. We have many participants who have joined us, and we would like to even get their questions so that they can share their thoughts, and maybe if they have any questions, they can ask to us. I would like to tell everyone they can raise their hands if they have any questions so that we can take up
Yes. Hello, Aparna. My name is Sid Suresh, and I'm calling in from Urbana, Illinois, United States. I'm very, very inspired to hear your story. Thank you so much for sitting down with us and having this little conversation with us. Your story from Antarctica, where you spoke about having this friction, this disagreement with your teammates, really resonated with me. And I wanted to ask you a question with regards to that. You said you had to put your foot down and you had to make your stand and you had to communicate with your teammates regarding how you feel. My question to you is, how do you decide where to put your foot down and where to take a step aside and just let things happen? How do you make that differentiation?
Hello, Suresh. Thank you so much for your appreciation. It is very difficult to pinpoint that moment where you realize, okay, the enough is enough. But yes, during the expedition, I realized a set of experiences, a set of interactions which made me feel very bad. It was, bordering on, racist. I don't think they would have ever encountered an Indian woman who's married, who's having kids, who's come on an expedition. Most of them were like as though making fun of me. How come do you have any differences with your husband that you want to get away from him? Things like that, random things like that, which I think for an Indian woman with just one or two expeditions, it was a bit difficult for me to fathom that how can people have such preconceived notions about someone from a different culture. It was over a span of few days, and it was almost at the end of my expedition that I realized that I really need to make them know how I'm feeling, that I'm not feeling good about the kind of interactions that they are having. And because it was just my second or third expedition, I was very, very affected by what was happening. And it was unfortunate that the guide who was in this particular expedition also did not understand me, and did not help with the things that was going around. And see, I was the only female climber in that team, and all of them were men. So maybe I had the difficulty. Right now, if I had done the expedition now, maybe at the beginning of the expedition, if there was something of this sort happening, I wouldn't have tolerated for a long, long time. I would have just, communicated with them properly and made them understand, and also try to talk to them and be more friendly. Maybe I was also a bit too emotional and too, missing home and not liking the kind of conversation that was happening around me. So maybe with more experience and wisdom now, I think it would have been a different kind of expedition and different kind of experience for me.
Thank you so much, Aparnaji. I mean, we all learn from our experiences, and we have like one more participant in the audience, like who would like to ask you a question. Viswaranjan, I mean, you can ask your question now.
Hi, Aparna. It's really a great story, and you shared with us. So there's a two-part. You are mostly talking about your post experience, and it's really need more self-motivations, and I can feel it because it's always challenging. You have to be self-motivated when you are doing these hikes. So my question is, there's a lot of backgrounds, like you have to plan for your expeditions, right? It needs a lot of time and preparations and stuff. Could you share, how you plan your expeditions? And this is mostly like all the internationals, and you have to deal with the government and stuff. So as I'm more interested in hiking, I'm doing some hiking, so I want to listen from you from that perspective. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Yeah. This is the question actually. When I started, I used to I am from the Uttar Pradesh cadre. I'm an IPS officer belonging to the Uttar Pradesh cadre. So I work for the Uttar Pradesh government. Right now, from 2017, I'm working for the central government. I'm on central deputy. So when I started my mountaineering or climbing, it started with initially I told you that it was a gradual progression, a step by step progression to the next expedition or the next thing that I did. It started from a posting in 2013 in an armed battalion in a district called Muradabad. This battalion used to take care of all the high altitude posts along the Indo-Tibetan China border. That is Kedarnath, Badrinath, Yamunotri, Gangotri, all these come under the armed battalion that I was commandant of was taking care of. So there were a lot of incredible stories that was narrated by my colleagues, by my troops about the way they used to carry things and how mules used to go to the higher altitudes, and the equipments, the tentage that they use. And I was quite curious, and I went and enrolled myself as a commandant in a 1-month basic mountaineering course. My inspector general, my boss, was quite shocked and felt really strange as to what this lady is up to. Will she be able to even climb, or will she be able to even complete this? But he gave me, we get something called the earned leave, because it's a long 1-month course. So I took an earned leave from my boss, and then I went and did the training. I did not get any financial support for this training, because see, in India, most of the mountaineering institutes are run by the government. It is very, very subsidized. So when I went and did the training, it will just cost me around 9,000, which included accommodation, fooding, lodging, everything, and the training, equipment, everything. So for a working person like me, 9,000 in 1 month is turned out to be very cheap. And the next year in 2014, I did my advanced mountaineering course, and even then I just had to pay around 14 to 15,000 for a month's training, and at the end of it, you get a good certificate and a lot of experience in the technicalities of climbing. Then gradually I started. When I started in UP, there was no climber or mountaineer in the government service. So when I applied for, we have to take something called the no objection certificate, and we have to get all the vigilance clearance. That means that whether there are any inquiries against us or anything, all those clearances. If we have any inquiries pending against us, we are not allowed to travel abroad. And also we have to declare our assets, from where the sponsoring is going to come and everything. It's a long and lengthy, tedious procedure. The first time when I decided to climb Kilimanjaro, no one sponsored me. It was self-sponsored. And it's just that, and I moved a file for leave, that is earned leave, and then the no objection certificate, and all the vigilance and all the inquiry clearances from the government. This almost took me around 7 to 8 months to get all these files cleared and, finally get my leave sanctioned and the no objection certificate issued. This file goes to the chief minister, and chief minister gives the no objection certificate. So you can imagine the kind of procedural delays that must have occurred the first time. So the first time, the second time, the same thing. The first time took me like 8 months to clear my files. Then it became easier because there was a precedent that there is someone who's climbing and she needs to get leave and no objection certificate and all these things. So the next expedition, after Kilimanjaro, I went and did Carsten's Pyramid, I did Elbrus. It was easier for me then. Till then, I did not get any sponsorship. It was only when I applied that, okay, I want to climb Everest and this is the cost and I will not be able to bear these costs, that one of my senior officers, who is a senior IPS officer and a very senior IAS officer, they really came forward and helped me with the sponsorship from the government. So for my expedition to Everest and Vinson Massif in Antarctica, government of Uttar Pradesh sponsored. And also after I came back successfully climbing Everest and Antarctica, I got a lot of awards which carried monetary benefits. Like one of the awards had a 2 lakh prize money, and another one, the Yash Bharati of Uttar Pradesh had a prize money of 11 lakhs. So these things really helped me, go on more expeditions. And preparing, see, if you're in a government job and managing a family, managing work, taking leave for 30 days to 40 days, there have been times where I have exhausted all my leave and I had to take no pay leave. So most of my expeditions, like the bigger expeditions like Everest or Manaslu in Nepal, which take around 53 to 55 days, 56 days, I had gone on a no pay leave, and then I used to come back, and I think the Uttar Pradesh government has been really very encouraging. After I used to come back, I used to plead with them and do an application that I don't have any leave left. I cannot, in emergency I don't have anything left. So they would, on a case by case basis, they would regularize my absence, on duty, and would give me earned leave or the extra leave they would consider my absence from leave as on duty. So I would save all my earned leave and casual leave and medical leave and so on. So initially it was a very tedious process for me. But once they got used to my stubbornness and determination, most of them have been very very fortunate that I have met some of the most effective and incredibly outstanding officers who have helped me in my journey of climbing. Without them, I don't think I would have been impossible for me to pull it off. It's a teamwork, and if a lot of people at your workplace, your well-wishers, your family, everyone, if they pull in, if they support you, encourage you, it's only then that such things are possible.
Absolutely, Aparnaji. Every student here who have come to US for their masters or maybe postdoc have received the support from the family or maybe their friends to come here, and maybe they can connect you with your story. We can see that we are running out of time, and I can only take 2 questions ahead. I would like Sonal Joshi to go up with her next question.
Hi, thank you for talking to us. I actually had more questions than 2, but I'll make it quick. First one is that you said that self-care is important, and I would like to know that we as normal individuals who do not are locked down and all, how do you expect or what do you suggest that what self-care we follow to be healthy? Question number 2 was that being isolated for so much time, I think how much ever treks I have done, it gives a deeper insight into our own self. Like you learn more about yourself when you are isolated. So what things did you learn at that time?
During my expeditions, my journeys and experiences, I have realized the importance of self-care, hygiene, to take care of oneself. I remember when I was climbing Everest on the summit day, we left at around 9 p.m. in the night for the summit. And I had a thermos flask with warm water and another water bottle with normal water with an energy drink. So in the night, we were trekking, and I did not realize the steepness or the height, nothing of that sort, because it is so dark and you just have a headlamp and you're just moving forward. And by the time, you reach somewhere close by to the summit, you're completely exhausted. Because you need to pace yourself, you need to be very, very efficient in moving and everything. I got thirsty and I couldn't open my thermos flask. It had got jammed and I had run out of the water, and the remaining water I had frozen. So I did not have any water to drink. So I was really in a bad condition. And I also was suffering from diarrhea for the past 4-5 days before my summit, because of the stress and because of the food. The oily and spicy food that I had in the advanced base camp, I did not know that you shouldn't have oily and spicy food just before a summit. Because I realized that now I realize that my body does not react well to that. So I reached the summit, and there are a lot of people who ask me, like, you must have felt on top of the world, you must have felt incredible, wonderful at the top of the world and everything. You know what? I was on the summit, I am on top of the world. I was completely exhausted. I was just wanting to drink water, and I was, more worried about getting down, because then it was already around 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning, and it was complete sunlight and clear skies, and I could see where I am, and one small mistake I would have just fallen, and no one could have even realized where I am. So yeah, then I realized how important it is to plan, take care of yourself, keep all the small things that is very, very important to you, which you need, medicines, whether it's medicines, whether it is energy gels. Unfortunately, I had taken chocolates which had become, brittle, and I could not bite into it because I did not have the energy to bite into it. So if I had taken energy gels or some powder or something, maybe I would have got more energy. That was one experience. And while coming down, I saw so many dead bodies on the way that it was mentally very stressful and very, very depressing. When I came to the base camp after the summit, it was in the night, and I still did not realize the enormity of what I had done. It was only after when I woke up in the morning that I realized that, okay, I have done it. Finally, I have done it, In 2015, I had gone, there was an earthquake. 2016, finally, I could climb it. But the lesson that I learned was it is very important to plan, take all your medicines, take all the little things that is very, very important on a trek. Like you see, you are trying to go on hiking and everything. It's so important. Now, whenever I'm going, even if I'm going shopping, my bag is full of, a small, I may be a bit too obsessive. There is a small torch, there are tissue paper, there are wet tissues. I keep in hand, hand sanitizer. Because of the coronavirus, we are like, okay, hand sanitizer every time we use. The hand sanitizer has been a part of my life for the past 5-6 years, and wet tissues, and energy or a protein bar, medicine. I have severe thyroid. No one can believe that I have hypothyroidism. And if one is affected with thyroid, get really exhausted. So I always have to eat a protein bar or eat some dry fruits. So my bag, a beautiful purse, even if I'm going to a party or a shopping spree, I have all these little bit, a change of clothes. I also keep a change of clothes in my bag. So, most of them, even Shachi always come in, तुम्हारा बैग तो इतना बड़ा है मैं तो उठा ही नहीं पाऊंगी. So I'm used to this. This comes over experience. Like you said, you go on hikes, so you need to always, plan and keep all those essential stuff. You never know what will happen when. What kind of, sudden change of weather or change of environment, any kind of accidents, freak accidents may occur. You need to be prepared for that. So that's why I always say self-care, be aware, self-care, take care of those small things that you need to have, especially medicines. You need to have medicines. I also want to share this with you. I am not only not only have hypothyroidism, I am severely asthmatic. So it's so important that I have to have the inhalers. Without that, like, it becomes very serious. So in spite of that, people get very shocked that I have done Everest and I plan to do bigger expeditions. It's just that I am very, very careful, and I know when to take my medicines and when my body is reacting in a particular manner and what it requires. That's why I always say self-care is very, very over the years, what these expeditions, these hikes, where you're isolated from the whole world, you learn a lot of things. You discover yourselves. You discover what you are as a person. Like I discovered in these 5 years that I need to love myself. I need to take care of myself. If I take care of myself, if I love myself, if I am happy, I can make my family happy. I can be a happy person at the workplace instead of getting irritated and howling at people and making their lives miserable. So this is what I have realized, that you need to be happy. You need to learn yourself, love yourself, take care, be very disciplined, and I don't get time to do a lot of other things, but I'm very, very happy that I'm putting in so much of hard work and effort, and I'm disciplined and committed, and I'm dauntlessly chasing different goals of mine.
Your stories are like really inspiring, Aparnaji. I mean, we all could like go on and listen to some more stories from you, but like we have a limited time, and all of our participants want to ask more questions. We'll take one last question from the participants, and Hari Govind Menon wants to ask you a question. Hari Govind, are you?
Yes, sir. Hi, Aparna ji. I am Hari
I
Govind from University of Alabama. It was so inspiring to hear from you. I have done few treks in Himalayas, and I could really relate to what you were telling, especially the one where you take like the mental thing that you were talking about. So I had a philosophical question to you. So when you're climbing a mountain, what I felt is like a part of you want to summit. That is the main goal in your mind, and a part of you want to just enjoy the view and be content. So as a person, which do you think, like, which matters more? Just being there, submitting, or just enjoying things, even if you don't submit, be content with life? Which matters more to you?
okay. I think both matters to me. But over the years, I'm getting older, so I'm getting more wiser also. So initially, for me, summit mattered a lot. And I used to really get very hurt and very disappointed, and it used to affect me. And I would be like, okay, yes, I'm also grateful of the fact that I'm getting a lot of opportunities. These opportunities, I used to dream of, going traveling and all these when I was a young adult, like people in college or in school. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I couldn't fulfill those dreams because of no resources, and um, because like I lost my father very young. My mother was working, and trying to meet ends, and I could not dream of all these things as a young adult. So for me, opportunities came very, very late. So when I started my expeditions back to back, like Kilimanjaro was a spot on success. I went to Carsten's Pyramid in Indonesia. Again, I succeeded at the first attempt. I went to Aconcagua, the most beautiful mountain. I had a great time in Argentina and Chile, and again I summited. And Vinson Massive, the next climb was Elbrus. I summited. Antarctica, Vinson Massive, I summited. And it was like I got used to. I have not seen failure as a climber. It was the first time when in 2015, I went to Everest and there was an earthquake. I had to come back completely disappointed. Everest costs a lot. It is like almost 20 lakhs, 18 lakhs, 16 lakhs. When I was climbing, it was around 14 to 15 lakhs. So it's just that if the expedition gets cancelled, it's like, okay, so much of money goes down the drain. So that thing affects me a lot. It affected me a lot then. But then I'm such a determined person. I never give up. I always push myself. I always, keep myself, I'm always very optimistic, and I keep myself, try to keep away from negative thoughts or negative things. So again, 2016, I went, and I need to share this experience of mine in USA in 2017, 2018. I went to climb Denali, and I loved Alaska. I loved Denali, and if given an opportunity, I'll climb Denali again. I went in 2017. I could reach till the high camp, and the weather got so bad that we were stuck in bad weather for 8 days, and I had to come down. I could not summit. 2018, I went all the way from Lucknow to Alaska. Again, couldn't even reach high camp. I just after base camp, I reached the next around the 11,000 camp. I barely managed to reach the 14,000 camp, and again I was stuck for more than 11 days at the 14,000 camp, and I had to come back. So was so depressing. I really felt that Denali was, testing my patience. If Denali does not like me, it never let me, submit. All these thoughts in me. And 2019, I went, and my God, there was not even one day of bad weather. And this expedition takes around 21 to 22 days or 24 days. I did it in just 11 days. Such good weather, beautiful sunlight and clear skies. I was like, what does God want me to experience with all these things? 2 years of bad weather, and the third year was like so beautiful. So this is what the journey is important. Now, because I'm wiser, the journey is very, very important. But let me be very, very frank with you. I did skiing to the South Pole in in January 2019, and South Pole is very expensive. I wouldn't want to go to South Pole and not do it and come back, because I don't think I would be able to afford another expedition again to the South Pole. I think I would have to rob a bank or something to do that. So I think it's both ways, but I still feel if you are not able to do it, you should not lose heart, not get so very disappointed. There's always another day. The South Pole is always there. The Everest is always there. Denali is always there. It is your life which is more important, and your positive outlook and your character and your resilience is more important than the summit. Summit is also important, but then you always have to take calculative risks. If the weather is bad, if it is not possible for you, I don't want to personally die on a mountain. I want to come back. I think if the weather is bad and I know that the mountain has become dangerous to climb, I will take the decision to not go further and come down, and go the next time whenever I get the opportunity, go and climb. It's not worth dying on a mountain.
Aparna, thank you. We're going to end with you. There's always another day, and because we're probably running out of another hour. So thank you so very much for all of your just frankness and your honesty, but also just your wisdom and your inspiration. I'm here for joining this India Student Hub Roominations conversation with Aparna Kumar. We hope you will strive for greater heights in your lives and make yourselves, your families, and India proud. The Indian students who are here studying in the U.S., we encourage you and your friends to register with the Embassy of India to get more information about such events, but also for important advisories. And look out for an email from us about a women's leadership circle that we're going to try to launch with Sachi and Aparna Kumar. Be fun to spend some time with some great women. We're going to sign off by wishing Aparna Kumar well on managing the pandemic in India, as well as on her next expedition. Thank you all, and be safe.